Hello everybody, and welcome to our final session of the day, this time on the subject of awe. Awe is one of my favorite topics to talk about because it is an emotion that literally changes our perspective on the world. It rewires our brain. And I can't think of somebody more apt to talk about awe than our friend Daniel Kish. Daniel Kish is a world-renowned inspirational speaker and educator, and he has dedicated his life to teaching other people how to navigate the world with their own form of echolocation. You see, Daniel has from a very young age not had eyes, and yet he has been able to see the world using echolocation, and this is a skill that he now teaches to other people. His work is truly awe-inspiring and shows us that our perspective on the world can be ever-changing. So, sit back, relax, and let's all meet Daniel, and then join us afterward for a live Q&A with him and Dr. Linda.
A number of research projects have shown that people who are blind are in some ways redeploying the visual brain in such a way that they are truly seeing and appreciating the world around them, and that visual brain does light up.
Moved it.
I did, huh?
I can't understand how Daniel moves around so well and does things as if he had his sight. What I want the most is for Daniel to teach Kimberly to move around like he does.
Somewhere around you there's another pole, and if we listen, we might be able to find it. And back to the other side. Awesome! Very nice!
It's gradually going taller
Yes!
and then goes across,
Yep.
and then it's gradually coming back down again.
Yes!
That's amazing.
Isn't it?
I can see the car.
You can see it in your mind.
Holy mother! I still sometimes shake my head when I think about the fact that that kid who got pulled out of PE, who was so clumsy and uncoordinated and couldn't catch a ball and ended up at the Paralympics.
Sean Marcelese and Lisa Sweetie.
One of the things I didn't like about tandem cycling was that my success or failure was based on my sighted pilot as much as on myself.
1 lap to go for Marcelese and
I wanted to know that win or lose, it's because of my own abilities. So that's part of why I wanted to ride my own bike. My goal is to ride to work. I'm not sure how realistic or how safe, but Dan can do it, so if he can do it, then eventually I hope that I can too.
What do you think?
Something's here.
Excellent. Excellent. Excellent.
Very nice. Track the boundaries of those houses. Good job.
I'm gonna come fast.
These skills are things that blind people don't typically have access to. And it's the most empowering feeling when you've got somebody who's with you and who is also blind and who's saying, yeah, you can do this, you can do this. It's one of the most empowering experiences I've ever had in my life. And it's not like somebody comes and then all of a sudden you can do everything. You have to keep working at it.
Where am I?
Okay. Now, you give us your power click, see if you can hear the building still.
No building.
His personality drives him to know, to understand, to experience, and he has no fear. And he doesn't mind a bit of mishap. I mean, I've seen him crash and burn on a number of occasions, and it does not faze him. He just doesn't care.
All right, here's a hill. Follow me.
All right. Those are a pretty powerful combination of characteristics that will just drive a person forward.
Go right, this way.
A lot of these kids are heavily supported, so they'll never really be stranded or high and dry. I mean, if you shut down your entire navigational system, someone's going to step in and navigate you. So we kind of undo all of that in our training, bit by bit, to reawaken and reactivate the navigational system.
Yeah, we're heading towards the building.
I worked with her for 7 days. She went from anxiety attacks about leaving her front door alone. By the end of those 7 days, it was getting to the mall on her own and enjoying doing her own shopping.
Since learning echolocation, I now have true choice. I'm not abjectly terrified of travelling independently.
Oh, what is it? Let's go check it out.
Everybody has something to learn from echolocation, and that is that we all are capable of so much more than we previously thought. We are really living in a new era of exploring the question, what can blind people see? I mean, it's sort of a temporary state because now we can actually teach our brains to image acoustically. People often ask me, Brian, do you wish you could see? And my response is, I already can.
Welcome to my little slice of awesome. Thank you very, very much for joining me. I'm glad to be able to share what I can about this subject. What you saw there were a bunch of our students, students I've worked with, all blind. None of them could see anything. And yet they were doing things that may have seemed really relatively ordinary until you find out that none of those students could see a darn thing. And a lot of people tend to think that that's pretty awesome. I tend to think that it's pretty normal, except that many of those students actually had to learn to do those things. And to me, it isn't the things that they've done that I consider awesome, it's the learning to do them that I consider awesome. These students are, well, a big source of awesome for me. So what about awesome? What is awe? What is awesome? I don't want to talk so much about what it is because you can Google it and find out everything. I also tend to think that by trying to define it and put it into words, we maybe diminish it somewhat. It is under study, and it's under study for an important reason. It's under study because it's darn good for us. It's good for our brains, it's good for our minds, and it's good for our bodies. It's good for our immune systems. They've studied immune factors that improve under experiences of awe, and certainly clarity of thought and psychological benefits. If those of you, well, all of you will have experienced awe at some point in your lives, and I invite you to try and think of a moment of awe that you may have experienced. I've put you to task here. If you can't, then maybe you can refer to the video that I just showed you, and maybe there was something in there that you found pretty awesome. But the idea is that it brings us to a different state. Many people find it transcendent. Many people find it transformative. Many people find it uplifting or inspiring. It brings creativity. It brings change in our lives. So what I'd rather share with you than what it is how we can bring it into our lives more regularly. Okay, now you just met my cat. One of the most awesome things that ever happened to me was this cat coming to visit me, basically coming to live with me. He was a stray, and he's been one of the most awesome parts of my life for the past some years, 8 years or so. So I think of awe, I call it the awe formula, and it's not a formula because there's nothing about awe that can be exactly formulated. and that goes to show the limitations of words when we try to put them to things. But for lack of a better word, we'll call it a formula, and it is an acronym, AWE. So I think of it in terms of awareness, willingness, and exploration. And if you combine those things, or if we combine those things, because I certainly include myself in us, if we combine those things, we can actually increase the frequency and depth of awe in our lives. We actually get to experience awe more often, and therefore the benefits of awe more often, experience them, and of course, share them. For me, one of the most awesome things about awe is to be able to share it, right? So awareness, willingness, and exploration. Not necessarily in that order. We experience awe more often when we are open to it, when we believe we can, when we are willing to be open enough to, well, to experience it, to benefit from it, and of course, once again, to share it, right? So that comes first. We have to be willing, we have to be open. I believe that awe comes more often, or it can be invited more easily when we are in the face of something new, when we are experiencing something new, when we are approaching something novel, something different, something unusual. So that is part of exploration. If you are exploring something, if we are exploring something, by definition, we're looking for something different. We're looking for something new. Any explorer who ever explored was charting something, finding something, discovering something. So that's the exploration part. And the third part is awareness, which is about increasing our awareness, being more mindful, being more attentive, being more in touch with what we are experiencing, with what is around us. A lot of us, because we do what we do, because we're interested in goodness and in being inspired, etc. We've all kind of heard these things before, I think, in different contexts. So let me invite you to an actual sort of practical exercise, not even an exercise, more of a lifestyle of inviting awe, if you will, an awesome lifestyle. So a big part of it for me, and this may be where I have a bit of an advantage as a blind person, exploration comes quite easily in a way, because pretty much everything I do necessitates exploration. It's all about finding things. It's all about the process of how do I acquire information? How do I acquire, or how do I find my way to something? Or how do I find something? Okay, this earbud in my ear, just that I'm using as a microphone. I opened the charging case just as we were about to record this video, and both earbuds were missing. They just weren't there in the case. I had the case charging all morning. I opened the case, no earbuds. I had to find them, okay? And I did. So what I would say, what I do, what I encourage our clients to do, our blind clients to do, is to look, is to be open and look and explore something new, something different, something unusual every day. So, and I'd even encourage you to journal it. I do journal it sometimes, not always, but I often journal, and I often like to put into the journal, what new thing did I experience this day? What did it make me think? How did it make me feel? What did I learn from it? What did I contribute to it? And especially these days, when maybe we aren't traveling as often, maybe we're not going as far, maybe we're not doing as much. And so it becomes even more interesting in a way to see what is new, something different in our lives now, in our home. What have we missed? What have we not noticed in our home, in our yard, in our neighborhood, in a local park? What can we do, not only something that we might experience differently, but what can we do that's different? Can we take a different route to the grocery store or to work or to school? Can we try on different clothing? Can we eat something different? Can we change something different about how we're eating? Can we change something different about what we do in a given day? Not just any day, but each day. That really, that opens us up to the newness, the awness, the depth of any given experience. And I actually like to surround myself with things that are just kind of unusual and different. It's one of the reasons I'm wearing this t-shirt now. What's interesting about this t-shirt, I wore it on purpose, is I think at first glance to many people, it actually looks like it should be symmetrical, but it's not symmetrical. And it's also tactile, which is the other reason I bought it. So when I'm wearing this shirt, I spend entirely too much time touching my shirt. It's very strange, but that's why. So I'm going to bring you through one quick experience that many people find kind of awesome, that will give you, hello, Kitty, that will give you an experience of what these blind kids and adults that you just saw, what they actually experienced. So because they were using their ears to see with, that's a whole new thing, using your ears to see, using your brain to see. Well, they all had to open themselves to a bit of this whole awesomeness that I've just been talking about. And they often, in the process of learning this, the majority of our clients actually at some point literally have what I call an aha moment, which is like an awe moment, right? As their brain opens up to this experience of seeing. So if everyone would close your eyes, just close your eyes. I'm going to trust you that your eyes are closed. And I'm holding in my hand a photo of, I have no idea what, I've long since forgotten. I'm sure it was a gift. And all I'm going to do is hold it in front of me and make a sound. But then I'm going to move the photo toward me and away from me. And I just want you to hear how the sound changes as I move the photo. That's all you need to do. So if you open your eyes, you have me holding the picture, and all I did was this. Now, that is the way a blind person who learns to rewire their brain to see through their ears, okay, which is essentially what you saw these students doing. That essentially is how we do what we do. It's obviously there are many layers to it than that, but in a way, it's not really any more complicated than that. And to me, well, to my experience, as we open ourselves more and more to a sense of awe, courting and inviting a sense of awe into our lives and sharing that sense of awe with others, we open ourselves, our minds, our bodies, our hearts, our souls to just more, the more of life, the more of living, the more of being. And I'd like to end with that and invite you into the next video, which I think you'll see will nicely conclude this discussion of awe. Thank you very, very much.
That's our hope for Hamoudi, is that he's going to, as an adult, he's just going to be able to just power through life like he does now, but basically without anybody helping him.
People get stereotypes from what they think. So what I do is I show people that they're wrong. And I do my normal stuff. And that has blown to pieces a bunch of stereotypes. I go out there and I run through them. So go with your heart, get out there, do something, Don't just sit there thinking you can't do anything, because you can.
Moody Smith, touchdown!
Like you guys can see with your eyes, and we can see with our ears.
3, 2, 1, go! This obstacle course is not just holes, it is a goal. And the bigger the goal, the more obstacles you'll face. And on the other side of that goal is victory.
Un Guinness World Record.
Stop!
E allora! È stato bellissimo vederlo qua.
¡Sí se puede!
Sí se puede, sí se puede. Yes, you can.